and something different. I decided that I was going to try out my live stream service here since I just unlocked it now that I have 50 subscribers. And I was thinking I would also do a little live stream to celebrate my 50 subscribers and to do it while I was packing up some of my games since I'm going to be moving soon. So I figured it'd be fun to pack some games, show off a few of my games, I guess, and talk about whatever random stuff that's going on in my life here. Okay, so yeah, I was just setting up my live stream here on YouTube so that I can see if anybody joins in and decides to chit chat. Let me just check something here. I'm going to try something else real quick. Sorry about the delay. I doubt anybody's watching yet, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see if I can get on here. Okay, it looks like I'll have to switch up. All right. I think we're good. Okay, so I am going to be moving pretty soon here and going through the arduous process of packing up all my video games. So first things first, I'm going to get my bubble wrap here. And usually what I like to do when I'm packing up my games is I will start with all the stuff that doesn't get crushed on the bottoms. So that's pretty much going to be my Super Nintendo games. And also, like any of the cases, like basically anything going back to the PS2 that has like a malleable plastic case, let's say. So cut a little bubble wrap here. Size it to my box. Yep, it's counting down the days at this point, how soon I'm going to be out of here, which I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to be gone from Atlanta. I don't like it here. It's too violent, too crazy. People aren't very nice. I mean, I like the people that come to my work and stuff like that, but just the public is pretty awful. And after seeing a few people get shot and having things not go so well at my job, I decided it was time to move on with my life. Hey, Tanner, how you doing? Jaden, what am I doing? I am packing up my video games. I'm moving away from Atlanta to Wisconsin. And I thought I'd do a little filming and show you guys some of my collection while I did it. I figured it was a good opportunity to do that. And I'm about to start with my Super Nintendo games, actually. So that's the long and skinny of it right there. How you guys doing? I know there's a little bit of a delay, so you'll have to excuse me when I respond to your chats. All right. Oh, let's see here. Start with, I've got a reproduction copy of Bahamut Lagoon here, if you can see that very well. But it's a fan translated copy of it. I still haven't had a chance to really sit down and enjoy this one. I've also got King of Demons. That's another repo. And I'm going to be going through my repos real quick here. Terranigma, another awesome game. Lufia, Rise of the Sinistrals. That's kind of an expensive game, so I do have a repo of that guy. And then Gun Hazard, which was one of the first front mission games on the Super Nintendo. That one's more of it's more along the lines of like Metal Warriors and Cybernator and games like that. But it's very cool because it's more oriented. You can really upgrade your machine. It's more focused on that sort of thing. So very cool. So those will be the first to go in. And then now we're getting to my Street Fighter stuff. I got Super Street Fighter right there. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Oh. And continuing on. Let's see, I got the original Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat 2. Great title. Baraka was my favorite in that one. I got Street Fighter Alpha 2. This one's a little more rare these days. We got X-Men, Mutant Apocalypse. Love this game. Capcom game. Awesome game. Total Carnage. Uniracers. Gradius 3. That was actually one of the launch titles, oddly enough, for the SNES. And then one of my favorites, Legend of the Mystical Ninja. Awesome multiplayer game. Total Carnage. Contra 3. Alien Wars. Battletoads, Battle Maniacs. This game is fucking awesome, too. Still very difficult, but not as hard as the NES version. Battletoads and Double Dragon. Which I actually have a fan-made case for that one, which is pretty cool. Might as well stick that in there. Probably set it aside for now. And of course, we got Mario Kart. Let's see. I've got F-Zero. And then I've got Top Gear, the original, Top Gear 2, and Top Gear 3000. Yeah, I know that's not super exciting, but I got to do it. I got to pack this crap up. King of Dragons, awesome game. Awesome side-scroller beat-em-up multiplayer. Also another one in that same ilk, Knights of the Round. Both Capcom games, both totally awesome. We've got Killer Instinct. Zardion. Super Mario and Super Mario All-Stars. All are necessary must-own titles. Got Secret of Mana. Final Fantasy 3. Wanderers from Ys 3. I always used to call it Wanderers from Wise when I was a kid. Another copy of Secret of Mana. Final Fantasy 2. Illusion of Gaia, all of these awesome games. I recently actually just played through the Final Fantasy II remake on the DS, which is a great game. They added a lot of cool shit to that title as far as just sprucing it up and improving the replayability of it. We got the classic SimCity, which I actually rebuilt this cart. It was a complete destroyed mess. I had to take it apart, work on the board a little bit, fix the sticker and stuff. Luckily, I didn't have to get a new sticker for it. It had like a bunch of masking tape on it and shit, which was really lame. Robotrek, one of my all-time favorite games that nobody talks about. Secret of Evermore, another awesome game that gets overshadowed by Secret of Mana. And then I've got Breath of Fire, simple game, not the best RPG on the console, but still an awesome game if you ask me. And I think between that and Breath of Fire 2, probably the best graphics out of any RPG on the Super Nintendo, rivaled only by Chrono Trigger, I think. And I would argue the in-battle graphics for Breath of Fire 1 and 2 are even better than Chrono Trigger. But the overall graphics for Chrono Trigger, I think, are the best because the out-of-battle graphics are really good for Chrono Trigger. And they're not quite as good, for Breath of Fire. Let's see here. I got an Indo, Way of the Ninja. That's a weird one that is little known. It's made by Koei Corporation, the same guys who did Romance of the Three Kingdoms and those types of games, which is pretty cool because there are like large scale battles in this, but then also you're doing a lot of traditional turn-based RPG combat, but you play as a ninja, which you don't get that a lot as the titular character in an RPG. So it's kind of a cool one. This is another cart that I had to fix up. The battery died on it, and it had a few more little problems with the board and stuff like that. So I had to fix that guy up. Got Tetris Attack over here. Another fun game. We got Arkanoid and Kirby's Avalanche. And for anybody who's just joined, I think I have one other viewer. I am just packing up all my video games because I'm moving to a different state. And I thought it would be fun to just kind of pop through and go through some of the games that I own. I've got 2 Super Game Boys. One of them's got an awesome game, Final Fantasy Adventure, in there. And moving on to the next pile, I've got Captain America and the Avengers. That's a goofy game. The voiceovers and stuff like that in that game are pretty hilarious. Batman Returns, not a great title, but it was one of those titles I ended up with. I got Super Mario. I don't know if this is a reproduction. No, surprisingly not, but the label looks a little bit like the color's oversaturated. Paperboy 2. And we got Super Bomberman 2, another classic, awesome multiplayer game. I've also got Tecmo, Secret of the Stars. Pretty cool game, kind of riddled with a lot of glitches and shit like that. I inadvertently got like an infinite money glitch to work in this game at one point because you have 2 parties in the game and there's a way to geek it out. Like it's one of the few games that does this, but you have 2 parties that you're playing as simultaneously that you can like switch back and forth between. It's pretty interesting. Interesting RPG. I'd say maybe it's a little underrated, but it's not great when it comes to just the RPGs that are available on the Super Nintendo. Got Lagoon, which is, I think, a underappreciated game. Mystic Quest, always a solid title in my opinion. Even though it's like baby's first RPG, but like I do like it. Cut some more bubble wrap here. Hope everybody had a good weekend of, looks like I'm the only one watching myself, but I'm okay with that. There were a couple people popped in for a second, and then they left right away, but that's okay. I get it. It's not exactly riveting, but I don't mind. This is my first time live streaming on YouTube Live since I got to 50 subscribers. And I was not feeling super motivated to like pack my games. So I thought to myself, you know what might get me motivated? What if I live stream this shit? Maybe that'll make me feel like I'm, I don't know, doing something more here. You know what? I think I'm going to move the Super Game Boy games a little bit. All right. After Mystic Quest, I got Zelda here. Awesome. Solid game. And then I've got Godzilla. Super Godzilla. Game's funny as hell. It's goofy. I picked it up not that long ago because I was kind of on a Godzilla kick. And I played it as a kid. So like, I just was feeling like some Godzilla action. All right, moving forward. I've got Vortex. That's a pretty cool game. Uses the same kind of graphical style as Star Fox. And it's interesting because you play in a transforming vehicle that can go between like a flight mode, a robot mode, and a vehicular mode, which was kind of ahead of its time for, kind of beat Star Fox to that because that's something they ended up doing later. Then we got Darius Twin. That's a classic two-player shoot 'em up. Shmup. I love the shmups. And then, of course, Star Fox. Another awesome game. Classic. I think it still holds up to this day. Another game that's super cool. If you've never played it, Blazion. That's another shmup. Cool thing about this game is you start out as a little spaceship and you have like a real pussy-ass pea shooter, but you can also fire out these little capture bullets, and you have to hit most of the enemy mechs, which are a lot of the enemies in the game. You have to hit them like 2 or 3 times, but then they turn blue and you can run into them and you become that enemy mech. And all the different enemy mechs have different abilities and stuff. So you kind of pick and choose and learn which ones are better and which ones are worse. And it's kind of cool. It's almost kind of like a Pokemon shmup in a way because you can capture all the enemy ships and stuff. Then there's UN Squadron, another awesome game that lets you like buy new planes, upgrade your planes with different expendable weapons, and very, very cool game that was still kind of unique. Not a lot of, like in a lot of games you can unlock ships and stuff like that, but in this game you earn currency for every battle that you defeat and or every mission that you beat, and you can purchase new weapons and ships, and then you can like forego buying the weapons in order to buy a better ship, which is much more expensive than just buying the weapons. And then, of course, we got Super R-Type, which is a favorite of mine as well. Love all the R-Type games. Moving on, we got Thunder Spirits. That one's a classic. Very difficult game, but super awesome. Another shmup. Got Supernova, which is like a partner game to Darius Twin. This one's not 2-player, but it had some really awesome graphics for its time on the SNES. And also the fact that you get to pick between 3 different ships at the start, a red one, a blue one, or a green one that all have different weapon power-up, like progressive paths. Very cool. Aerobiz, another sick shmup that doesn't get enough love. Oh, let's see here. What else we got? I got a repo cart of Earthbound because I'm not going to pay like the exponential amount of money at the moment for a real one. And then these are real though. This is a Mega Man X cart that I refurbished. The sticker was completely faded and fucked, and the pins and everything were a little messed up and corroded. But I fixed it up. Got it looking pretty nice. I think it's looking pretty new here. And then these are the doozies right here. I got Mega Man X3. This one goes for quite a bit of money. Not a repo cart. This is original. I got the classic Super Metroid. Awesome game. And then I got like the poor man's Super Metroid, which is Bob. If you've never played this one's also pretty fun. And for anybody who's just joining, I think I have one viewer right now. I am just packing up my video games because I'm going to be moving to a different state. Wing Commander. Awesome game. Love this game. So I thought I would just hop on and pack some games, talk about the individual games. Jurassic Park, another fun one. The only thing that sets this game back a little bit, I think, is the fact that you can't save your progress. You kind of have to beat the game in one sitting, which is kind of crazy. You can, I think there's a password system. I know there's a password system on the original Nintendo one, but which I also have. But yeah, password systems. I don't know, man. Donkey Kong Country. This is another cart that I refurbished as well. And then Donkey Kong Country 2. Got Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Awesome game. Graphics are still sick, even to this day. And then I got ActRaiser, another awesome game. And I've got to run and grab my other Super Nintendo games in the other room. Doing that real fast. Boom, 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 boom. And I have returned. So we got the rest of the stack here of games that I'm packing up. I got my copy of Chrono Trigger, which is a must-have, but that's a pricey one. I bought that one after the fact. I think I almost paid like $200 for it too, which some might call me crazy for that. I got Earthworm Jim 2. You know, crazy thing about Earthworm Jim 2 is when it originally came out, this was an $80 game. So some of the people talking about the Switch games being expensive, man, games were expensive for a while. Not to say that that justifies the pricing for Switch games right now, but games have been pretty expensive for a while. I would just understand it more with cartridge-based games because, like, I feel like there's so much more material that went into these, you know, and there's a PVC board and everything. But yeah, King of Monsters, another classic, fun multiplayer game. Got ActRaiser 2 here. Not as good as the first ActRaiser because it didn't have like the city building simulation aspect to it, but it's still a decent game. I think it's still a decent game. Also, got Primal Rage. This is a classic. This game is sick. Not a lot of people know that they actually did like motion capture for all of the character models and stuff. Like they had little, I don't know if they were clay or if they were like rubber figurines. I think maybe they were clay, but it was all motion captured. That's why the graphics are so cool for that game. That's one game that's like much better than the arcade though. Like if you want to like get the real full experience, you probably want to check it out on like an emulator on arcade. King of Monsters 2, another awesome game. This is a little known game. Harley's Humongous Adventure. You play as this like goofy scientist. I don't know if you can see it there. You play as this goofy scientist dude. He's a rad dude. He's got sunglasses on and a goofy ass like shaved side head haircut bullshit. But it's a fun game where like you fucking play it as a shrunken down scientist, like working your way through different levels, and you use like marbles and nails and stuff like that to shoot at enemies. It's pretty sick. It's pretty challenging too. Earth Defense Force, this is kind of a brutal shmup on the Super Nintendo. Mega Man X2, classic, awesome game. Sim Ant. I don't think this game gets enough love. Sim Ant is an awesome game. Really enjoy it. Love the game. Furthest I ever got into it was I got into the house, but I didn't ever completely beat the game. And then I got a repo copy of Dracula X because it kind of goes for a lot. I didn't buy that one myself. That one I ended up with that one when I bought somebody's Castlevania collection. All right. Some more bubble wrap. Man, I'm like kind of breaking a sweat doing this shit. Let me get this sweatshirt out. It's too much. All right. I got my mic set up here. I don't even know if it's actually going through my microphone or if it's going through the mic on my phone. Not entirely sure. I guess I could test it by getting up and like walking away for a second and checking to see if you guys can still hear me. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, so it is going through my mic. I'm gonna see. Check. Check. All right, we're good. So yeah, I know people are coming and going, but I don't care if nobody watches. I'm going to post this anyway because it's something to do. It is something to do for me, and it keeps me motivated to work on packing my games up because this is something I've been procrastinating, and I'm going to be leaving in just a couple weeks here, so the time is nigh. I must pack up my games and get ready to go. So yeah, I saw that a lot more information is coming out about the Switch 2. And I mean, I still don't give a shit. I'm still not convinced that I don't really particularly want to buy the console. Oh yeah, I got Yoshi's Island right here. I'm not completely convinced on the Switch 2 yet. I don't particularly want to buy the console yet. I'm gonna wait for there to be at least five exclusive titles that I want for it. Is my plan. I really wanted them to announce a new F. I know that people keep making arguments for like why F-Zero isn't being made again because like not enough people want it, this and that and the other thing. But dude, I just want an F-Zero game, man. I want F-Zero and I want Star Fox. If those would have been two of the announcement titles for the Switch, I would have been on board. All right, check this out now. I got the R-Type 3 and Super R-Type collector's edition box set here. I haven't even opened it. I'm keeping it sealed. But this thing's pretty sweet if you're an R-Type fan. And let's see. I think I'm going to move on to my... I think I'm going to move on to my PS3 and PS4 games here. What I want to do is like the more fragile games, I want to put them towards the top. I do have a complete in the box copy of Breath of Fire, second copy of Breath of Fire. And then I also have a complete in the box copy of Final Fantasy 3. The only thing it's missing is the map though, which oddly enough, the map is like worth more than the game somehow. So you do the math on that one. I also got a complete in the box copy of Super Mario 2, which is in pretty good condition. Let's see. Ugh. So I don't own that many Xbox 360 games, just the ones that I give a shit about. Lost Odyssey being one of them. Front Mission Evolved. Tales of Vesperia. Morrowind. Skyrim. Fallout New Vegas. And Dead Space. That's my whole 360 collection right there, comically enough. And let's see, I'm moving on to PS4 games. Crosscode is awesome if you've never played it. That's like a 16-bit style. I guess you could call it, it's like an isometric view, kind of like Zelda. Devil May Cry 5. My brother gave me this game. I still haven't played it. I have never been a huge fan of Devil May Cry. Transformers Devastation. Probably the best Transformers game ever made, I would argue. It's also delisted right now, which is a bummer. And I imagine the physical copy probably will just continue to go up in value over time. This game's awesome because the graphics are like just like that of the original animated movie back in 86 was it that it came out? Correct me if I'm wrong. You got the Transformers game? Hell yeah. This game's awesome, isn't it? And then I've also got 13 Sentinels on the PS4. Yeah, have you beaten that Transformers game, Mr. J? Yeah, who knows? I'll wait and see if you respond. Let's see here. I've also got my little Vita collection. I got Odin Sphere here. Dragon Crown. Muramasa. If you noticed, a bit of a Vanillaware streak there. Oh, right on. It's a good game, man. It's a lot of fun. Also, it gets a little grindy at the end if you want to like get the best weapons and stuff, but I didn't mind it that much. It's an awesome game. I got Deception 4 Blood Ties. If you've never played the Tecmo's Deception games, they're awesome. He's just 6. Where I can see how that might be difficult for him. Then there's Akiba Strip. That's a fun, goofy game. Final Fantasy X 10-2. Which one bummer about this game for the Vita, especially if you're like collecting it after the fact, like around this time, it's just a download code for Final Fantasy X-2. So my Vita's modified, so I don't care. But basically, this game is essentially just Final Fantasy X on the Vita at this point. Now that there's no support, Darius Burst Chronicles Saviors. This game is awesome if you like the Darius series. It's basically like an homage to all the Darius games, or Darius, as some people might pronounce it. Let's see. You got the Final Fantasy game, but have not had any time to open and play it. Word. Yeah, 10 is a classic. If you never played through 10, you should definitely check it out. Very good game. What I would suggest, though, there is in Final Fantasy X, there's an option at the beginning to, if you want to play, like, I think it says, I don't know exactly what they call it, but it's a new version of the sphere grid. Don't pick that option. I think they call it like the international version or something like that. What happens is the sphere grid is how you upgrade your characters. And in the original game, it would have them like in their own quadrant or whatever section of the sphere grid to gather up their own particular moves, which is what made each character distinctive to themselves. In the international version, or the redone sphere grid, it kind of starts them all in the middle so that you can just like make the characters however you want. And it honestly, I think in some ways, unless you've already played the game, it kind of ruins it a little bit. It makes it more difficult and a bit more confusing. It's fun for somebody who's a veteran to the game and has beaten it before, and they want to try a different way to play through the game. I wouldn't suggest that for the first time, though. All right, Exist Archive. This is a cool title if you like the original Valkyrie Profile games. On my shelf next to For Honor and Starlink. Word. Exist Archive is a cool game if you like the original Valkyrie Profile and Valkyrie Profile 2, like that combat style, where each character is assigned to a button and you do combos and like juggle the enemy or hit them while they're down to get bonuses. The only complaint that I have about this game is like there's not a lot of enemy variety, so the battles can kind of get repetitive. And what they'll do is they'll like throw the same enemies at you with like a different color scheme, which is kind of obnoxious. All right, putting these guys in. Moving on to, I'm going to go on to my PSP games next. And here we go. We got Patapon and Patapon 2, both very cool. They announced a physical version for the Switch of both of those games, which I was kind of disappointed because I was hoping that they would put Patapon 3 on there as well. But you can get all of these games on the PlayStation Network. I think they're like 10, maybe $15 a piece. 15 isn't worth it. I would wait for a sale. I think 10. But if you've never played these games, it's like it's a rhythm game where you command a little army, and you basically move them around using different drum patterns. And there's also RPG elements because you can equip your little party and put individual pieces of equipment on each little squad and stuff like that. And as you progress, you get different materials, which allows you to unlock new Patapons, new little warriors, and then also create weapons and armor for them. So like, it's a pretty cool, goofy little game that I highly recommend, especially if you like rhythm style games. Also, I got Castlevania, the Dracula X Chronicles. This is cool on the PSP, but it's basically the same thing that they released in the Requiem collection, and it's pretty much Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood, and that's pretty much what they released in the Requiem collection. I also got Trails in the Sky. They're coming out with a remake of this pretty soon here, so I'll be excited to pick that up. I pre-ordered it for the Switch. I'm a little worried about performance for that game on the Switch, but we'll see. Phantasy Star Portable. I love all the Phantasy Star games, even all the online iterations. I really enjoyed. We're going to keep going here with the PSP games. I've got Luminous. This is a cool puzzle game. If you've never tried it, fun PSP game. If you're a fan of puzzlers, we got Dissidia Zero. Let's see. I always mess up this game. Duodecium 012. This game's cool. It's basically Dissidia, but it gives you the option to do all the combat in a turn-based style, like menu style, where you can like just pick what your characters do and they go. So that's kind of interesting if you're not into the whole kicking ass and fast reaction times and things like that when you're playing a game. If you kind of want to just watch it play out and pick your character's equipment and grind it out like that, it's pretty cool. I got the Gradius collection, which is I don't know. I love Gradius. And this one goes all the way up through Gradius 4 and includes Gradius Gaiden as well. Very, very cool. Very cool title. Untold Legends. This is a fun, like almost like a Diablo style game for the PSP. And then, of course, the remakes of Final Fantasy 1 and 2. These are interesting. They're kind of their own particular remakes. They remind me a little bit of the mobile version in their graphical style. What else we got? Final Fantasy Tactics for the PSP. Some would say that's like the definitive way to play it since it has the cutscenes and the extra character classes and stuff like that. There's also Crisis Core, which they recently released the remake of, which, by the way, that remake is excellent. And the Switch version runs really well. So like if you were on the fence at all about that one, if you own a Switch and you're worried about performance or whatever, but you were thinking about getting it, get it. Because having a PS5 and a Switch, I bought it for the Switch because I heard that it ran really well on there. And after beating the whole game, I can say it runs spectacularly. There's like, obviously you're dealing with 30 frames, but that shit doesn't bother me so much. There's no dip, there's no chugging. Like everything looks great. It runs really well. So that one's definitely worth it to pick up on the Switch. I've also got the original Dissidia. This game's a lot of fun. Love the original Dissidia. Some of those original games that came out on the PSP, they're just kind of cooler on the PSP because they were designed with like mobile gaming in mind. They were designed in a way where it's like you can pick up and play it for like 10, 15 minutes at a time and accomplish something. And, it's friendly as far as letting you save whenever you want and stuff like that. That was one of the big things I was always a fan of with a lot of the handheld style games. I wish they would that's why it translates really well to the Switch for a lot of those handheld style games that have kind of shorter play times or more I don't want to say mission based, but they have shorter missions, shorter quests. Yggdra Union, if you never played this one's a fun turn-based tactics, almost like a little bit like Advance Wars in the way that the battles play out, but there's a card element to the game. It's kind of a little known one. Then we got Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. This one's very cool, underappreciated game on the PSP if you were a fan of Vice City. And then Wipeout Pure. I love the Wipeout games. I'm a big fan of F-Zero. So that one's a no-brainer for me. Okay, let's see. Moving on to the last bit here. I've got Star Ocean First Departure. Awesome remake as well. And then we've got Armored Core Formula Front. This is one that not a lot of people talk about. This one's really easy to emulate. It's kind of weird because it only came out for the PSP, and it did come out for the PS2, but only in Japan. So the only way to play this is on the PSP. Interesting thing about this game is you just pretty much set up your mech, and then you send it out into battle in an arena-style combat system. And it's Formula Front. The name kind of tells you what is up. It's almost like if Armored Core was like Formula One racing, if it was more like a commercial sport rather than mercenaries and stuff. It's strictly a versus game. You can switch the mode to play it yourself, although it's very difficult. But the way the game was intended is to just have two computer-controlled ACs battle each other out. It's pretty cool. I do prefer controlling my own unit personally, but the only trouble with that is it's pretty frustrating. The difficulty spike after about the first 10 or 12 ACs, you run into one that just completely fucking dominates you. So it's a tough game, but very cool handheld mobile. If you have a Vita that's modified and you have PSP games on there, consider giving this one a try. It's a lot of fun. R-Type Command. This is something that's supposed to be coming out for the Switch, and I guess all platforms. A remake of it soon, but I haven't really seen. I haven't heard anything about it in a hot second. But this is basically a hexagonal-based strategy game, pretty much turn-based strategy game. It's cool. It has all the ships from like R-Type Final and stuff. So there's hundreds of ships. There are over 100 ships. But it's a very particular cup of tea. I don't know. Unless you really like strategy games, probably not for you. Also, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max. Love Street Fighter Alpha 3. My favorite thing about Street Fighter Alpha was the World Tour mode where you got to power up a character and level them up and stuff like that. That's part of the reason I bought the PSP Max version, because it has a few extra features. The one thing that disappoints me about all these collections coming out, like Street Fighter Alpha 3 was in one of the Capcom collections. They took out the World Tour mode, which like was a real bummer to me. I really wish that they would have kept that in. Like any of the single player components for a lot of these fighting games, when they re-release them, they get rid of all that stuff. Like I was disappointed to see that they got rid of the unlocking, like for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, like you don't unlock any of the characters. And I understand that people don't like that shit particularly. They would rather just have all the characters unlocked immediately. But me personally, I was one of those people who really enjoyed unlocking characters myself. And using the points and stuff like that to unlock characters. But apparently people don't like that shit. So they just got rid of it. And the other thing they got rid of is in Street Fighter Alpha 3, they got rid of the World Tour mode, which I think that was more than just unlocking, getting points to unlock stuff. Like that was its own whole game, which I'm really kind of bummed out that they got rid of that. All right, now onto my Xbox games. I don't have a lot of Xbox or 360 games because I didn't really collect for those. But this game is awesome. Breakdown, that's what it's called, right? This is pretty sick. If you know, you know. Breakdown is an awesome FPS game where you're basically, it's all about like super soldiers and crazy bullshit. Cool first-person experience. Like it a lot. Get in there, bud. All right. And then, of course, Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2 for the Xbox. It's not the Plus version, though. That's the more rare one. Panzer Dragoon Orta, totally underrated game. Love this game. And then Castlevania Curse of Darkness, another underrated game. All right. Moving on to... I think I'm going to go on to the PS3 games next. Let's see here. Come here, motherfucker. All right. Cool game right here. Child of Eden. This one's not super well known, but it kind of reminds me of Rez that came out originally on the Dreamcast. It's by the same creator, and also same creator as Luminous. Awesome game. It's a rail shooter, just like Rez. A lot of fun, very visually striking. This is a game that they should definitely bring back, I think. Final Fantasy 13. I don't know. I'm probably one of the handful of people that really actually loves this game. Fallout New Vegas. Fucking the best Fallout ever made, right? Dragon Crown, the best beat 'em up ever made, if you ask me. Ni no Kuni. This game is so awesome. And I feel like even at the time that it came out, it was underappreciated. It got a lot of critical review. Like, it was hailed by a lot of... yeah, you're right. Not a lot of people talk about Child of Eden. It's true. Yeah, Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch. This was a great game. Really impressive that it came out on the PS3, honestly, for how good it looked. The art style and graphics still hold up. Level 5 Studios. I'm a little, it kind of sucks. Level 5 is kind of fucking it up lately. They've been like already kind of botched their release of Fantasy Life so far. Fantasy Life, the girl who steals time or whatever. I guess there's not even going to be a physical version of that game. And also, I don't understand their choice to make a game called Fantasy Life. Like, if you ever played the original, it was like about creating your own little fantasy life in this world. You could pick your job out of like dozens of different jobs. You could be a lumberjack, you could be a chef. Like, every little job you can think of was basically an occupation that you could do in the game. And when you start the game, you create your own little character and your own little avatar as like a you in the game. In this game, in the new game, it looks like you're forced to play as some girl. And I mean, honestly, me personally, I'm a little bit tired of being forced to play as girls in like every game. I don't mind it. What you got? What you saying here? I'm going to take notes on your PS3 collection. I don't have any of I don't have some of those. Sometimes I accidentally repurchase a title. Yeah, I hear you. I've done that myself. Sometimes I actually repurchase titles on purpose because different versions of them, different ports or whatever. Let's see. Moving on. Armored Core 5. Loved this game when it came out at the time. I played it a lot online with a group of friends. This was the campaign mode is still worth it, but the game was mostly designed around the online components for it, which were a lot of fun. It was basically 4v4. Awesome game. Campaign is still worth it if you ask me. Let's see. Armored Core Verdict Day. Another awesome game. Campaign, still totally worth it if you ask me. Dungeon Siege 3. This is kind of cool alternative to like Diablo, let's say. It's a very cool game. Never finished it because it is a little bit generic, but if you're a fan of like Diablo-style games, that isometric view, dungeon crawling, that sort of thing, this one probably be right up your alley, and it's probably pretty cheap these days to get your hands on. Skyrim, of course, it's come out for everything. And then Fallout 3, Game of the Year edition. Can't go wrong with Fallout, ever. All right, continuing on. We got Metal Gear Solid 4. Awesome game. Original Dragon's Dogma. Also an awesome game. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. This game was kind of balls. The single player campaign is a mess. If you don't have somebody to play with, it's fun if you have people to play with, but if you're playing by yourself, the AI is so fucking awful that a lot of the times these levels you're going through, you're kind of like surviving a gauntlet of zombies and other zombie adjacent monsters. And you get to the end, and then you have to wait for all your squad members to get to you or die. And most of the levels I've just spent sitting at the exit, waiting for all my squad mates to die. And oftentimes I would just get mobbed by enemies that I didn't kill on the way there, and I would die too. Very difficult to play this game single player. It kind of sucks. I never finished it. I regretted buying it back in the day because I paid full price for it. I paid $60 for the damn game, and it wasn't fucking worth it. Final Fantasy X-2. This game's actually cool. The only thing I don't like about this game is some of the soundtrack has J-pop singing, and that shit becomes really grating after a while. Don't get me wrong, like there's some really good music in this game, but the singing bits, oh my God, they just destroy me. The coolest thing about this game, though, is you only have 2 party members, but your third party member, it can basically be any monster in the game. It's like a Pokemon-style collectathon of monsters. You can get any of the monsters in your game. And I remember I was playing with the titular characters, and then I had a behemoth in my party. And each one of the monsters has its own sphere grid that you level up, similar to the characters in Final Fantasy 13. So they have their own grid for you to max out, which is pretty cool, I think. The fact that you can collect all the monsters in this game to be your third party member is probably the best thing about it. It's just that the damn J-pop music really fucks it up. Here's another one not a lot of people talk about. El Shaddai. I believe they remade this. Either it did come out or it is coming out physically for the Switch and PS5, I think. Somebody says, what about GTA 4? I stopped playing GTA games after San Andreas, to be honest with you. I lost interest in the franchise after that. I do have all the GTA games going up until San Andreas, and I have Vice City Stories on the PSP as well. Vanquished is another cool game. I believe they did re-release this one, but this game's a lot of fun. Third-person shooter, high sci-fi action. It's a good title. I recommend it. And then I've got Borderlands 2. Decent game. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but it is a lot of fun to play with somebody else. South Park: The Stick of Truth. This game's hilarious. Really enjoyed it. If you're an RPG fan, it's a pretty well executed South Park JRPG. I really like it. Of course, the original Last of Us before it all went to hell, right? Good game. And then see what else we got. Lightning Returns 13. I bought this game just to complete the trifecta, but I haven't played through it. And I honestly, I want to finish 10 or 13-2 before I play through this one. I have them all on Steam, so that's probably how I'm going to play through them at this point. But I heard good things about this game. It did go and become a full like action game at that point, I believe, which is cool. I got this one for a steal, just for practically nothing back in the day when the PS3 was on its way out. All right, moving on to PS4 games. I think I'm going to move on to PS4. Yeah. Oh, no, I still got some PS3 games. Still got a whole bunch of PS3 games, actually. Whoopsies. All right, moving these guys up here. There we go. All right. Enchanted Arms. This one's like a little-known From Software game. It's an RPG. I picked this one up recently because I was collecting all of the From Software games. Haven't had a chance to start playing it yet. I got a huge backlog at this point, so I'm sure you all do. Don't judge. I've been playing so many games. I got Castlevania, Lord of Shadows. This was one of the games I got with the collection, my buddy's collection of Castlevania games that I bought off of him, and then Lords of Shadow 2. Wasn't a huge fan of these games. I played the first one a bit. It's something I'm going to revisit, but I don't hate the newer Castlevania games as much as a lot of people do. I was a fan of Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness. Particularly Curse of Darkness. I really enjoyed that one. Good game. I think it's like the closest thing that we're going to get to a 3D Symphony of the Night, basically. All right. I think after the PS3 games, this container is going to be full. In case you're wondering, I buy big plastic bins to put all my games in. I don't trust paper boxes because if the bottom falls out, it's visions of hell, basically. The thing is particularly like when it comes to PS1 games and Sega Saturn games, the jewel cases for those are so brittle that even just handling them, you have a chance of just breaking the stupid jewel cases. And I do believe that plastic gets more brittle over time too. Like as the years go by, that plastic becomes more and more brittle, I think. Got to find a good way to pack this so that things aren't flopping around too much. Yeah, let's see. I don't want to put too much dead space in here. I don't know what I can fit in this little spot. Maybe, yeah, I'm just going to have to do it like that. All right, now I'm going to be moving on to some of my PS4 games, I think. Oh, no, my bad. I still have PS3 games. I said that a moment ago. This is an awesome game nobody talks about, and it's become kind of rare. 3D dot Game Heroes. This is like a Zelda style isometric top-down view game. This game is awesome. It's goofy. It's a lot of fun. Love this game. Not a lot of people talk about it. I wish they would re-release it. I really do. It's published by Atlas. I don't know, and it's actually From Software made this game as well. So not a lot of people are familiar with this one, but this game is fucking sick. Look up some gameplay footage for it sometime. If you're a fan of Zelda style games and kind of boxy pixel graphics, this game is awesome. Cross Edge. This one's a little known. It's an RPG that is a crossover of a bunch of different franchises like Disgaea, Nightmare Creatures, and not Nightmare Creatures, Darkstalkers, Disgaea, just a ton of goofy franchises, JRPG franchises that you wouldn't expect. Ooh, Jay says he's got 3D Game Heroes. Yeah, that game is awesome. Yeah, it has gone up in price over the years. I think it's like close to $90 at this point. Let's see, we got Eternal Sonata. That's also hella cool game if you like them, if you like jams, the musical side of gaming there. I also have Plants vs. Zombies on the PS3. I bought this game because I thought it was kind of awesome that there was a PS3 version of the game. Let's see. You picked it up for 99 cents at GameStop back when nobody knew what it was. Yeah, dude, that's an awesome buy. And that's totally one of those games that back in the day was easy to come across and not realize how good it was. Demon Souls, the classic. Love this game back in the day. I have it on the PS5, but having beaten it on the PS3, revisiting on the PS5, I didn't really give a shit because I truly played the fuck out of it on PS3. Let's see. That's Plants vs. Zombie. It's kind of surprising that it's up to $30 right now. I have it also for. Let me show you real quick. And who knows? Maybe you didn't know it came out for this, but also have it on the DS, which is it's a lot of fun on the DS because it lends itself to the touchscreen really well. So if you have a DS, if you're going to buy another copy, maybe consider buying it for the DS. Yeah, all versions of that game are awesome. I honestly, I'm one of the few people, but I think it's a shame that it turned into a first-person shooter. Like I did not like that transition. Granted, I didn't really give it a try, but I'm not like a huge fan of FPS arena shooters. Oh, that's cool. Magnavox, hell yeah. I myself do not collect those, but I'm good on you, sir. I'm a fan of just anybody that collects, to be honest. We got Dark Souls, the classic, still in my opinion the best, easily the best. I think this game is still better than Elden Ring, to be honest with you guys, and maybe I'll get some hate for that, but Dark Souls 2, it's kind of cool. I got the Steelbook edition of this. I bought it when it first came out. If you can see the raised graphic on there. I wasn't a huge fan of Dark Souls 2. I kind of felt like it was not as good as the first one, and it was retreading old ground. And I didn't like the changes that they made to. I didn't like the changes that they made to the upgrade system, but then again, I'm one of those people that thought Dark Souls just kind of got worse over time because it was a lot of just more of the same, if you ask me. And I don't really think that Elden Ring changed the formula up too much besides just it being open world. Not to say there's anything wrong with the formula, but for people that have been there since the beginning, since Demon Souls, and bought every iteration all the way through Dark Souls 3, like it gets kind of tiresome after a while, and especially with all the clone games coming out, the Souls-like as they call them. Then I got Deus Ex Human Revolution. This game is awesome. I played through this one a few times. Another cool version of this one is the version for the PS or for the Wii U, because they utilize the gamepad in some interesting ways. Let's see what my guy here. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, that is a bummer. Castlevania Lords of Shadows. I think that's my... Is that my second copy of that game? It might be. And then Adventure Time, The Secret of the Nameless Kingdom. If you're a fan of Adventure Time, this one's a bit of a Zelda clone, but fun game. All right, this should be the last of the PS3 games, I think. Oblivion, of course, you know, awesome title. Can't go wrong with that. Valkyria Chronicles, great game. The original was awesome. Rare title. Which one are you talking about? Talking about Adventure Time or Oblivion? Oh, hell yeah. Oblivion's great. Oblivion is great. I like it in a lot of ways more than I liked Skyrim. I also like Morrowind more than I like Skyrim. Valkyria Chronicles, awesome game. Dragon Age Origins, probably a lot of people would argue the only Dragon Age that's worth owning. Yeah, Adventure Time is one I haven't seen a lot. I got that one from a friend. LA Noire. This game was awesome when it originally came out. Soul Calibur 5, also just another classic. Love that game. The Ico and Shadow of Colossus collection. Awesome little combo disc there. Two excellent games. And then Street Fighter X Tekken. You played Dragon's Dogma not long ago? Are you talking about the original one on the PS3, or did you play like the re-released versions of it? PS3 version? Yeah. They actually released it for the Switch, which is kind of cool to be able to play it handheld. All right. Let's see. What should I move on to here? I might close this box up. I think that this one's probably full. It's pretty heavy at this point, so I'm just going to put some more bubble wrap over the top. And then I think I'm going to move on to my PS2 games. Quite a few of those. Yeah. No, I'm the same, man. I was just saying earlier that like my backlog is ridiculous. There's a lot of games that I have for older. I have a backlog, and I do this on purpose, but I have a backlog for like every console. So like even the Game Boy Color, I have a backlog of like 6 or 7 games that I need to get around to. But I like to have at least a little backlog of like 5 to 10 games for each console, because it always makes me feel like I have something new. And I can just like look at my game shelf and there's new titles for me to play. So like I can always get excited about something new and different. Oh yeah. Yeah, like I said, I got this nice little crispy complete in the box. Super Mario Brothers 2. I'm just going to set this in here as well. And then I've got complete the box Final Fantasy 3. I just don't have the map. And complete the box Breath of Fire. I know this copy of Mario 2, it looks pretty good. Oddly enough, it's only worth like $50 a copy like this. It is open, but it still has the cellophane on it. But it does have everything in the box, including like all of the little the postcard you can like mail in, you know what I'm talking about? And then I showed this a little earlier, but this is pretty awesome. The Super R-Type and R-Type 3, it's on a single Super Nintendo cart, collector's edition. This thing's pretty sick. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit that in there, though. Yeah, another reproduction I have, or just a re-release. They re-released Mega Man X 30th Anniversary Edition. And I haven't opened this one either, but there's a chance. All the carts are gray, but there's like, I think they released like, I don't know how many thousand it was, but there are transparent blue carts. So I don't know if this one's a transparent blue cart or a gray one. It's worth more if it's transparent blue, but I don't want to open it. So I might save this for a video later where I'll unbox it to see if I did in fact get a transparent blue cart with my, because it was kind of like a surprise for the buyers. But this is very cool. I love Mega Man. All things Mega Man. So I think I'm going to put this guy in here as well. And let's see, what else can I finish off putting in there? I've also got this storybook edition of Odin Sphere, which is, I love this game. This game is so good. Super underrated. Awesome game. And I think that's going to do it. Can the lid? Yes. All right. This thing's going to be totally full. It's kind of heavy, but not crazy. By the way, Jay, thanks for watching, man. You've been sticking it out with me here. Right on. You should subscribe if you want to. I've got a lot of opinion piece videos. Not a whole lot, but some opinion piece videos. I've got a playthrough. I played all the way through the original Kingsfield, all the way through the first Armored Core. So I got those 2 playthroughs on my channel. I also do a lot of modifications and repairs. So I have a lot of modded Game Boys and stuff that I've built over time. For instance, let me see here. Here we go. Like I built this Game Boy Advance. There's a company called Boxy Pixel that sells aluminum shells for handhelds. And this is called the Unhinged. I'll watch the other vids and click thumbs up and watch them. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate you, man. I'm glad I popped up on your recommendations. That's cool. I'm getting a little bit more coverage here. But yeah, this is a Boxy Pixel version of the Game Boy Advance. I took a regular Game Boy Advance and reshelled it into this aluminum shell and added a USB-C port and a headphone jack. With the original Game Boy Advance didn't have either of those. So it's rechargeable, aluminum. It has an upgraded screen that's much brighter than the original screen. Yeah, it's kind of too bright for the camera, I think. But I do a lot of these modifications. I do repairs on my channel. One of the recent videos I had that blew up a little bit is, I don't know if you're an Armored Core fan, but all of the Armored Core Classic games just released on the PlayStation Network, which was Armored Core Project Phantasma, and Armored Core Master of the Arena. I released a video recently showing everybody a way to bind the controls so that they can actually play with dual analog sticks. Because the original games, they used the shoulder buttons to R2 and L2 let you look up and down, and L1 and R1 had you strafing left and right. So the buttons like for new school gamers, they would hate that shit. And they wouldn't play the game out of principle alone because it's not dual analog, because those games predated the dual analog sticks. You were big into Armored Core. That's awesome. That's good. That's cool. If you do decide to maybe download some of those Armored Core classics, they're $10 a piece, the first 3 games. I highly recommend them. But check out, I got a little video on my channel because it turns out they added a rewind mode, which also happens to allow you to rebind the keys, and it lets you rebind the right analog stick. I came up with a way to bind to the controls through the in-game binds and through that additional setting to rebind the controls so that you can use the dual analogs and fire with the shoulder buttons and stuff. So it makes it feel like a much more modern way to play the game, and it's much more tolerable than the old controls, which, since you said you're big on Armored Core for the PS1, you're probably familiar with how the controls operated on those games. But I was pretty pumped. I got almost 500 views on, I'm a little channel, so 500 views is a lot for me. But I only started this channel like 6 months ago, so, I'm making my way. But yeah, like if you end up buying any of those classic Armored Core games, check out that little video. It'll show you an easy way to read, because it's dumb. Like, I had to sit there for a while to get it to work right, but once I got it, I was like, I'm going to make a video on this so I can show other people so that they can just get it working right away. Check that out. Playing with the dual analog sticks makes such a huge difference for those games. Like, for real, it's very cool. The only way to be able to do that previous to this was through emulation, which the playthrough of the original Armored Core that I have on my channel, I played all that on my Steam Deck with dual analog. So very cool. Let's see here. All right, on to the next bin. We're going to PS2. I got a pretty big collection of PS2 games. Yeah, I love Armored Core, man. Did you get a chance to play Armored Core 6 at all? Or do you have a PS5, or do you mostly just collect older consoles? Ben 10. I never played that one. I heard good things about it, though. I remember the cartoon, definitely, but like I was a little too old for that to appeal to me at the time that it came out. But I'm familiar with the premise of it and stuff. He has that cool watch that lets him turn into all sorts of different aliens with different abilities, which I could see how that would lend itself really well to a game. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, dude. Not a lot of people have the Wii U. I'll tell you what, though. The Wii U is awesome because for me, I've basically turned my Wii U into my go-to like cabinet shooter. The little rifles that you can get that connect the Wiimote and the analog stick. There's a lot of really cool rail shooters on the Wii that you can play on your Wii U. There were two Ben 10 games. Call of Duty Black Ops, yeah. Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was one of the best, man. Check it out. I got my Game Gear. I recapped this guy, which is a pretty tough fix, replace all the capacitors in it. But I got it working. I do want to put a new screen in there, though, but it looks okay for how old the screen is. I think it looks pretty all right. What do I have in there? I got Primal Rage in there. All right. Another cool limited run I got recently was Radiant Silvergun for the Switch. I don't really like limited run. Your Game Gear is missing. May have been stolen during the move several years ago. That's a bummer, man. The thing about Game Gears is, I don't know if you knew this, but Nintendo or Sega stole the recipe for capacitors from Nintendo, but they didn't get the capacitor recipe right. And so pretty much every Game Gear around this point in time, the capacitors start leaking and break down on them. So like most Game Gears, you have to replace the capacitors now to have them working. And mine was no different. The capacitors died on me, but I replaced them all. It's a pretty tough fix if you don't know much about soldering, but if you're pretty proficient like I am, I was able to pull it off, and I'm really happy that works. There are IPS screens you can get for the Game Gear, which I'm going to replace mine. And there's also a new power board and rechargeable batteries where you can replace the top charging the DC port with a USB-C port. I'm going to do that to this guy. Thing is if you know how to replace the capacitors, you can buy Game Gears that power on, but it's just a black screen, which typically means that the capacitors are done for. You can buy them for like $30, and then to buy the replacement capacitors like $15. So theoretically, you could have a working Game Gear for like $50 or under $50. Let's see. Your 3DO has gone missing. Not sure. Oh wait, has gone out. Not sure what needs to be done to fix it. Right on. I haven't worked on a 3DO, but one thing you can do is start to troubleshoot it. Well, I mean, the way that I taught myself how to fix everything and do all the shit that I've done is pretty much through YouTube and Reddit, troubleshooting it. Like the first thing is like, does it power on? You know, and if it doesn't power on, it could be a power supply issue. Or sometimes it could be as simple as just your power adapter is maybe what died, and you just need to buy a new power adapter for it, and that could be the thing that has gone, because those things will break down. And if it doesn't power on at all, it could just be the power supply inside of the unit has been compromised somehow, which at that point, you'd have to do some diagnostics and take some readings to see what's up. So it's a little bit of it becomes an involved thing once you start to try to figure out what's wrong with it. All right, so moving on. Here, I'll show you another. This DS, I reshelled this DS and made it used to be a pink DS, but I turned it into a clear one, and I replaced the screens start to go yellow on these, so I replaced the bottom touch screen on it, so that it's no longer yellow. What'll happen is like the corners of the screen will start to turn yellow on you. This was a fun build, though. I really like the way that this guy turned out. Very cool. Yeah, man. You know what? DSIs. This is a DSI. You can get DSIs for under $100 that are in perfect working order. The regular, oddly enough, the regular DS, and I reshelled this one. I fixed it. The top screen was broken on it. I put a black shell and I put these custom buttons in. Regular DSs are more expensive because they can play the Game Boy Advance games. If you get a DSi, you can sometimes find these for like $70 in full working condition. Like I got this one, that Castlevania collection I keep talking about that I bought from a friend, his whole collection. I got this blue DSi in the collection. After all the math was said and done, I think I paid $30 for this. So I'm probably going to reshell this one to be another clear one, and maybe I'll probably sell it, because this one has, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but this one has a little bit of yellowing on the screen, on the bottom screen. That's one of the issues you'll run into with the DS and the DSi. All right, we're on to PS2 games. Here we go. We were talking about Armored Core, right? Last Raven. Probably one of the hardest Armored Core, or no, not quite. Pretty tough, but there are harder. Silent Line, I think, is the hardest Armored Core game. Let's see here. How am I gonna? I think I'll do them sideways. Armored Core 3. Eternal Ring. This is one that you can get under the PlayStation Classics on the PSN network. This game, I'm a really big fan of Kingsfield. So this is another first-person dungeon crawler like Kingsfield. Not as good as Kingsfield 1 and 2 or Ancient City, but still a good game. It's all about crafting rings, and one of the few games where you can equip like 4 rings on each hand, like you should be able to in real life, you know? Here's a game nobody talks about or even realizes that exists, probably. Wild Arms Alter Code F, remake of the original Wild Arms. This game is pretty sick. This game's pretty awesome. It doesn't have as much of the post-game stuff as the original game, and they changed the combat a bit, but still an awesome game. We got Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Tough game, but a good game. Digital Devil Saga. This is part of my backlog. Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2. I haven't even opened these. They're still in the cellophane. I've been collecting for quite a few years now. I've been like all these consoles. My first console was Super Nintendo, and I've been collecting since the Super Nintendo era. A lot of my games I buy online through eBay and also at resale stores. But for the most part, a lot of the games that I have, I bought them as they came out. Got Castlevania Lament of Innocence. Cool game. Bit of a departure. A lot of people really wanted more Castlevania Symphony of the Night style games, but this game was still fun. Here's a more rare title. Valkyrie Profile 2. This one's sealed still. I have 2 copies of Valkyrie Profile 2. One that I play and then one that I keep sealed. This one's a bit more rare too if you want to talk about rare games. What you say? I picked up a massive N64 collection at a yard sale. Hundreds of games, just $1 each, and many rare titles. That's awesome. I can show you real quick some of the N64 titles that I have. I'm coming off the camera for a second, but I'm still talking here. All right, let me just show. I don't have like a huge N64 collection, but there wasn't a whole lot of games for the N64, so I'll just show you what I have here real quick. Okay, let's see. Top Gear. Command & Conquer. Let's see. I wish I would have recoded my find the video. Oh, if you were recorded your find? Yeah, definitely. Mega Man 64, I recently played through that. I had it, Mega Man Legends on the PS1. I've beaten it many times. I never went through the 64 version. This I got in the Castlevania collection that I bought off that guy, Legacy of Darkness. This is a rare one. He also had the original Castlevania for the N64. F-Zero, one of my favorites. Blast Corps, interesting game. Kind of reminds me of that game on the SNES, Vortex. Of course, GoldenEye. Zelda Ocarina of Time. Cruising USA. Cruising World. Nightmare Creatures. I always had a lot of fun with this game, even though it's not as good as the PlayStation version. Star Fox 64, one of my favorite games on the N64. Mario 64, always a classic. Mario Kart 64, I got to get a new sticker for this one because it's very faded. And then I do have some complete in the box games. I've got Perfect Dark in the box here. Paper Mario in the box. I already showed Command & Conquer, but I do have the box for the Command & Conquer. I've got Turok 2. I had a lot of fun with this game back in the day. In the box. Star Wars Shadow of the Empire in the box. This was a cool game back in the day, too. And then I have a second copy of Mario Kart 64 in the box there. I do have the box and manual for Top Gear Rally. And then I have a second copy of Super Mario 64 in the box there. Those are my complete versions of 64 games. I also have South Park for the 64 and Clay Fighter 63rd and a third. That's not the rare version of Clay Fighter. Whatever the other one is called, that's super rare. Yeah, Shadow of the Empire is a great game. Has some great music, too. All right. Continuing back with the PS2 games, I got R-Type Final. Love this game. This game is awesome. I've actually got 2 copies of it. That's how much I love R-Type Final. The original Odin Sphere, 2 copies of that as well. Because my one copy was a bit beat up, and it was just the disc. So I bought a complete copy that has the manual and the disc because I'm a crazy man like that, I guess. Yeah, I got to replay Shadows of the Empire, to be honest with you. That game is awesome. Dark Cloud, another sick game. You can play this one and Dark Cloud 2 on the PlayStation Network. Dragon Quest 8, my opinion, the best Dragon Quest. Love this game. So good. Rogue Galaxy. This game is awesome. Awesome RPG. That's another one that you can get in the classic section off the PlayStation Network. I highly recommend this game. Very, very good. Summoner. This is a game they added not that long ago to the classics on the PlayStation Network. This game's a lot of fun. Underrated. Plays a little bit like Diablo. It's a very cool game. Love it. Eternal Poison. This one's a little bit more rare PS2 title. Not a lot of people talk about it. Turn-based tactical RPG. A lot of fun. Dark. Cool game. Shining Force EXA. This game is sick. Love this game. Plays like Diablo as well. Or Baldur's Gate, whatever you want to say, isometric view style game. If you've ever heard of or played Record of Lodoss War for the Dreamcast, it's pretty much the same company that made this game. Both the games are practically the same, like in their mechanics and stuff, except this one's just skinned as a Shining Force game. This game is awesome, though. Really good. It's got cel-shaded graphics, so the graphics still hold up really well to this day. I've got Radiata Stories, one of my favorite RPGs on the PS2. I really wish that they would bring this one back in some capacity. I wish they would re-release it on something. It'd be great if they were really re-released it on the Switch. I would love that. Innocent Life. This is a futuristic Harvest Moon. Also a very cool game. You can get this one pretty cheap too. Star Ocean Till the End of Time. I like this game back in the day. Good game. Not as good as Star Ocean Second Story, but still, it's pretty admirable sequel. Front Mission 4, fucking awesome game. Love this game. I love all the Front Mission games. Front Mission 3 is one of my all-time favorite tactical role-playing games. Love it. I'll be excited to see, because the Front Mission 3 remake is in the works right now. I'll be excited to see if they decide to release Front Mission 4 and then Front Mission 5, which never came to the States. Shining Tears. This is another Shining game. Fun two-player, isometric view, beat 'em up. Lots of enemies on the screen at once. Very interesting. Tales of Legendia, kind of a little-known Tales game. It's a good game. The post-game kind of sucks, but the game de facto itself is quite good. Let's see. Nightmare of Druaga. Not a lot of people talk about this one. Good title. It's a roguelike. Enemies move when you move. Very good game. Love it. A lot of fun. Very challenging. Metal Saga. Not a lot of people talk about this one. This one's a bit more rare. Also, lots of fun. It's a vehicular-based, tank-based, turn-based combat RPG. Metal Saga is a great game that doesn't get enough love. Metal Max Reborn. That came out for all consoles not that long ago. Also a very cool title if you like the idea of an RPG where you just drive around in tanks and blow the fuck out of everything. Very, very cool. Sorry, I got to readjust my mic there. Atelier Iris. I believe this is the original Atelier game. Interesting title. It was unique even for its time. I do like it. I got close to finishing it back when, but kind of lost interest. That's not to say it's not a good game, though. It's still a very good game. Grim Grimoire. That one got a re-release recently. Cool, interesting tactics style game. Kind of a tower defense style game. They did re-release this one as well. Very cool, though. It's by Vanillaware, so it's got their classic beautiful art style. This one's actually sealed. I haven't opened this one because the remake came out before I actually got around to playing the original version that I had. And then Soul Nomad. This is a game that not a lot of people talk about. I still haven't opened this one either. I probably will just play it in emulation and just keep it sealed. But very cool game, tactical style, NIS, NIS game. Very cool. I have yet to experience it, but it's similar to like Makai Kingdom and a lot of those other games. Let's see here. Speaking of Makai Kingdom, there it is. This is a fun, goofy, turn-based strategy game that has a heavy focus on vehicles. Then we got Disgaea 2 and the original Disgaea, both awesome, goofy, tactical games. Moving on. We got Spy Hunter. I was always a fan of Spy Hunter in pretty much whatever iteration. I still have my copy of Spy Hunter for the NES, actually, which is also a goofy, fun game. We got the original Dark Alliance, Baldur's Gate. Great multiplayer. This is a great 2-player romp on the PS2. Definitely worth it. Legacy of Kain Defiance and Blood Omen 2 and Soul Reaver 2. Love the Legacy of Kain franchise. Oh yeah, Spy Hunter on the NES is great. Awesome game. Contra Shattered Soldier. I love this game. It's hard as hell though, but it's a fucking great game. Really fun to try to get good at this with a friend if you have the time, if you both have the time. Super Bust a Move 2. I love the Bust a Move games. Nightmare Creatures, yes. I still have Soul Reaver on the PS1. I also still have Soul Reaver. Or no, I don't have it on the PS1. My bad. I have it. I have it on the Dreamcast, which is a graphically superior version to the PS1 version. Nightmare Creatures is a great game. I have that one on the PS1, and I have it on the, I showed you on the N64. Super Bust a Move 2. Love the Bust a Move games. Yeah, Seaman. That's one I need to get my hands on eventually. Got to get the mic with it. I never got to play that game back in the day, but I was always interested. We got Katamari Damacy. This game's great. Love the original. They released it on the Switch as well. I also have the physical version of that. Twisted Metal Black, man. You can't go wrong with Twisted Metal Black. Some peak Twisted Metal right there. Sylphied, The Lost Planet. I still have my copy of Sylphied for the Sega CD as well. Let me see if I can bust that out real fast. I don't even know where it would be on the shelf, actually. Oh, there it is. Is that? No. You know, I was mixed up. I was thinking of Soulfeast. Anyway, Sylphied is awesome. The PS2 version is sick. See what you're saying here. I have the mic and the game. It does not really work that well though. Yeah, you just talk and hope the fish people do something. That's kind of hilarious though. I mean, there's a charm to that. How many games are like that? You know what I'm saying? All right. Castle Shikigami 2. This one I think is a bit rare. It's a shmup. Awesome game. Raiden 3. This game is cool. One of the interesting things about this game is it's 2 players, but you can put it on 2-player and play as both the ships yourself, one with each analog stick, and the shoulder buttons operate the shoot and the bomb buttons, and you can try to like cross your eyes and like it's really challenging. I haven't seen another shmup that does that, but in Raiden 3 you can play 2-player by yourself, both ships, one with each analog. It's kind of crazy. Shadow of the Colossus, man. Can't go wrong with that. The original Shadow of the Colossus blew my fucking mind when it came out. And of course, Metal Gear. This was actually part of a collection. That's why it's in a PS2 type box. It's funny because I have the collection versions. I actually have 3 copies of this game. This is technically actually the PS1 version. I have both of them from the PS2 collection boxes, and then I have it in the original PS1 box. So that's like Metal Gear Solid 2 by itself, and then this is the box collection version. And then Metal Gear Solid 3, and then the box collection version. Let's see here. Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. This is a cool game that not a lot of people talk about. There's a lot of characters in this that we didn't get to see until this game came out. There's like Samurai Showdown characters. There's Metal Slug characters. There's the classic SNK franchise characters. Just characters from the entire Neo Geo world in one fighting game. It's very cool. Soul Calibur 3, of course. Soul Calibur 2, also an awesome game. Capcom Fighting Evolution. This is a cool game. It's got Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Third Strike, Darkstalkers, and Red Earth characters that you can choose from, which is pretty sick. Interesting combination of characters, too. And then the Alpha Anthology. This is one of those, I was talking about it earlier. The coolest thing about this is that it has Super Gem Fighters on it, because there was not a lot of ways to play the Gem Fighter game back during the PS2 era if you didn't have it for the PS1. But this includes Alpha, Alpha 2 Gold, regular Alpha 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3, and Gem Fighter. I can't remember if Alpha 3 has the World Tour mode. I doubt it, though. I doubt it has the World Tour mode on it. Not a lot of iterations would give you the World Tour mode, which was my favorite thing about Street Fighter Alpha 3 personally. All right. I'm almost through all the PS2 games. I got another stack here. I got to see what I can slip into some of these gaps here. Oh, yeah. Almost missed it. I think this game's awesome, and a lot of people like to shit all over this game, but Dragon Quarter, Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter. Love this game. One of my favorites. I've also got a sealed copy. Love Dragon Quarter. The game means a lot to me for some reason. Not entirely sure why. Played it when it originally came out back in the day, and I really loved it. I really did. And I was always sad that everybody would shit all over it and say it was a terrible game and stuff, just because they tried to evolve the series, but everybody would just shit all over it. It's like, why are y'all hating so hard? I thought it was a good game. Let's see here. I think I can fit some DS games into there. I'm going to leave that stack. All right. Moving on. Let's see. I'm going to fit a few DS games into this gap over here that I can't quite fit anything else into, so I'll show off a few DS games. I got Chrono Trigger on the DS. Awesome game. Yeah, Dragon Quarter is super sick. I really love it. It's got a unique combat system that's almost part strategic, part turn-based. You can move your characters around the screen. I do have Chrono Trigger complete, but I think it came with a map, so it's not quite complete. Let's see. Space Invaders Extreme. This game is a lot of fun. Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, also awesome Castlevania game in the same vein as Symphony of the Night. Spore Creatures. This is a really goofy game where you get to design your own goofy ass looking creature and set it out into a world to fight other goofy looking spore creatures. Kirby Superstar Ultra. If you like Kirby Superstars on the SNES, this is like an Ultra edition that just adds a bunch of additional side content. And then an oldie but a goldie. This is the Final Fantasy IV remake that I was talking about that I recently played through. I've had this game for a while, but I just hadn't finished it. And I recently finished it. I also have a sealed version of it. So I'd had this sealed version for quite a while. I bought it to play through it. And by the time I decided I wanted to play through it, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to keep it sealed. I'm going to buy another version because it's not that expensive. Very good DS game that you can still get for a reasonable price. Okay. I think that'll do it for everything that I need to know. Everything that I need to. God damn, I'm just throwing shit everywhere. Boom. All right. Continuing on with the PS2 games. I think I might call it a night after I finish my PS2 games here. And maybe I'll live stream something a little later, but for right now, I'm going to finish up. I'm going to finish up PS2. And then I got to make some din-din. All right, I got Crazy Taxi. Another awesome game. Originally came out on the Dreamcast. Burnout 3 Takedown. This game is sick. I love the Burnout series. Lots of fun. Best thing about that is the mode where you have to cause as much damage as possible with your vehicle. I love that shit. Gran Turismo 3. Also, a lot of fun, that game. Ace Combat 4. Sick, underrated game. Tribes, Aerial Assault. This game is awesome. A lot of fun for multiplayer. It was supposed to be the Halo rival back in the day, but it didn't pick up popularity like Halo did. Mark of Cry. This game was cool. Had a really unique combat system. Yeah, Burnout's great, man. I didn't really like when they switched it over into like the open world style gameplay that it has now. I would prefer to just pick the, instead of having to drive to the next race or whatever, I would have preferred to just have the original format, but whatever. I guess that's to each their own, X-Men Legends 2. These games were a lot of fun, like Diablo style X-Men games where you level up your different X-Men and stuff. That's a lot of fun. Whoopsies. SLAI. This game, not a lot of people know about this game, but this is a pretty sick game. It's a mecha combat game, kind of similar to Armored Core. It's for Steel Lancer Arena International. It had an online component, but this game is a lot of fun. And I don't know. It's by Konami. It's like I don't know if it's pricey at this point, but it's got an interesting, like, very Japanesey storyline. But it plays very similar to Armored Core. It's very cool. Mega Man X Collection. Can't go wrong with that, man. Mega Man Legacy Collection. This one's sealed. I haven't opened this one yet. Love the Legacy Collection. The one thing that this one also includes is, I believe, that Mega Man Kart Racer, once you unlock it by beating enough of the games. And then we're on to my Grand Theft Auto games here. I got San Andreas. Vice City, probably my favorite Grand Theft Auto game. Grand Theft Auto 3. We got Resident Evil Outbreak. This game was awesome if you were able to play it online back in the day with friends. Plays like the original Resident Evil games with like fixed camera angle and stuff, but you basically have to try to escape different scenarios while playing with a friend. It's kind of a puzzle-esque quality to different ways to solve different problems and stuff. This game's very cool. Each character you picked came with their own different items, how many items they could carry and stuff. Very cool game. I don't know how well it plays single player at this point. You can do it single player, but it was much better multiplayer. Resident Evil Dead Aim. This game's cool. It's basically a rail shooter. Good time, like any rail shooter. You know, what else can you say? Drakengard. That's this eventually became Nier Automata. So this is a pretty sick game. Running around almost like Dynasty Warrior style, fighting big armies of guys. There's tons of weapons that you can upgrade in the game. And then also you can ride a dragon that you can upgrade and blow up enemy armies. Very cool game that eventually became a Nier Automata. Dirge of the Cerberus. That's a little known one. Yeah, Drakengard's very cool. Drakengard 2 and 3 are pretty rare. Kingdom Hearts. Ooh. Then I have Dawn of Mana. Bit of a disappointment, but it's not a terrible third-person action. I wouldn't even barely call it an RPG because there's like not a lot of stats in the game. It's more item-driven. It's okay, but it doesn't really do justice to the Mana series. Xenosaga 2. Xenosaga 1. I don't have Xenosaga 3. That one's more on the rare side. I'm going to have to get my hands on it eventually. Final Fantasy 12. There's also now the Final Fantasy 12 International Edition, which breaks up the ability grid so that the characters have more like character classes, which I would recommend that version more. You can get it for the Switch and the PS4, I think. Still, this game doesn't get enough love. Plays a lot more like an online RPG, but it's offline. The combat is more auto battle style. Final Fantasy X, you know, classic. Final Fantasy X-2. Final Fantasy X-2 is okay. A lot of girl power bullshit in it. But the costume system basically replaces the job class system. I would say that that's the most interesting aspect of the game. As far as just the character progression and stuff like that. And let me see here. I think I'll put another layer of plastic down. Yeah, I've got some obscure titles. So there's probably a few that you haven't played or seen. But that's good though, right? You get to learn about some new titles. A lot of them are still, a lot of PS2 games are still pretty cheap to get your hands on too. So it's definitely a system that's good to collect for. Yeah, this video I'll post to my channel through, so if you want to fast forward back through and see the Super Nintendo games or whatever other titles. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and you know, oddly enough, living here in Atlanta, there's like no used game stores. The only game store that I can go to, and it's not even a game store. Oops, sorry, I think my mic was muffled. The only used game store I can go to, and it's not even a game store, is there's this little record store down the street from me that I know the guy, and he happens to sell some used games. So I've been buying like N64 and NES games from him lately. But it's kind of dumb that a city as big as Atlanta doesn't have any place to buy used games at. It's like, I don't understand that, you know? Let's see. All right, yeah. I think I'm going to end the stream there. Jay, thanks a lot for sticking out through it with me. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Definitely check out some of my backlog videos here. A lot of them, I have them all split up on the playlist between Kingsfield and Armored Core, and also just the opinion stuff, the mods and repairs. It's all separated, so whatever suits your interest. I'm gonna try to. I'm in the process of moving, so I'm gonna be busy with a lot of this. I might do another live stream packing games again, just for the fun of it. I'm doing this channel mostly for my own entertainment and to just like structure my gaming hobby more. So that, you know, it helps me to structure my hobby. It makes it more entertaining for me. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. Makes me feel like I'm a little bit connected to people. Also, check out my channel introduction video. That'll give you a good idea of kind of what I'm going for. But yeah, I'll probably do another packing video. I'm not super concerned with too many people watching. I got a fair amount of people that have come through in and out as I've been doing this so far. But I'm probably going to come back. I'll do another live stream as I pack the rest of my games. And yeah, in any case, I appreciate you watching, man, and anybody else who came around and just popped through. Check out some of my other videos if you're interested in my opinion on the Switch 2, or do some videos on anime that's been coming out lately and stuff like that too. So that's another thing. Hell yeah. Yeah, ditto. I'm a big collector, as you can see. But yeah, like I got some opinion pieces about anime and also some opinion pieces about contemporary video game stuff involving the Switch 2, stuff like that. But yeah, see if you can find anything interesting. I got like almost 70 videos so far on my channel. But in any case, I'm going to get off now, and I'll probably come back. I'll probably hop back on tomorrow and live stream packing some more games just for the hell of it. And this is going to post to my channel, so if anybody wants to rewatch it or just kind of scroll through to get some video game ideas, games that they might be interested in picking up, they can check that out too. But in any case, that's going to be Jellord out. Yeah, thank you, man. I don't know if it's dinner time near you, but I hope you enjoy your dinner as well. All right, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to shut her down. Have a good night, my friends.